Yeah, I'll feel dumb in the morning if I haven't gotten enough sleep.
That's
I
right.
just feel like,
Should we get up and eat an entire pumpkin?
I mean, that would be one way to start your morning. I'm not sure if I'd be able to do
Can
it.
you imagine a pumpkin in your belly that big every morning? God.
Nutrient properties that do become medicine when we incorporate them into our diet.
Tell your doc he better learn about this.
One thing that is plaguing most people in the world, which is high cholesterol.
How smart are you about what you swallow?
We want to give you a little bit of a hint.
It reduces people's memory. It may or may not directly be linked to heart attacks or strokes.
That's wild. Welcome to Ingredient IQ.
Brian Clement here, Hippocrates Wellness.
My name is Lindsay Johnson, and this is Ingredient IQ.
Well, today we're going to expand your horizons by talking about things that will give you greater vision. And you're going to see more, feel more, think more, and know more.
Expanding your mind, that's what we're here to do today.
Oh boy, this is a psychedelic one.
Oh, it is. So that being said, we're going to start by talking about plasma. So higher plasma blank, this is a two-part question. Higher plasma blank and blank were associated with better composite scores across the domains of global cognition, memory, and executive function. So very much in the brain.
Does everyone know what all of that means? Cognitive means what?
It means the way that your brain is processing information.
And global means what?
It means through the whole thing.
That's right. And executive function, that sounds like my job.
Oh, it is? The executive function is with me here today.
Here it's executive dysfunction.
So what are, and we're going to give you a little bit of a hint of some foods you could find it in.
Look at that.
Oh, nice little pumpkin.
Oh, that reminds me of Halloween and Thanksgiving in the autumn.
Squash.
And I'm so happy I live in Florida and it gets cold at that time of year.
It's a one time. Also our leafy green vegetables. We have some right here.
These are the best leafy green vegetables. I mean, these are actually growing at the time. Look at this thing. It's actually, as I'm lifting this little sprout up, you can grow anywhere on the planet Earth every single day of the year. That little one is growing. And isn't that amazing?
Living foods at its finest. So, it's higher plasma lutein and zeaxanthin. And these are two associated nootropics, as many people out there have heard. If you're looking for, again, like these very trendy supplements, these are two ingredients you'll probably see in most of those supplements out there on the market. But again, they're in food that you can get everywhere.
So what this literally does, it creates a better and stronger network of neuronal pathways that you literally have a more comprehensive way. How many times, including myself, have we gotten stuck in an area? We know one thing and we're stretching. I can't think of what's the next word? What's the next thought? This will help you prevent. And where do you get that from? Again, green.
Exactly, like writer's block. You have you're trying to think of that word, and that word just isn't coming to you. It's right on the tip of your tongue, but that cognitive flexibility is a little bit more removed. So lutein and zeaxanthin are carotenoids known for giving vegetables their green and orange colors. They are also highly sought after for their nootropic effects, like we just mentioned. And a study from Queens University Belfast concluded that serum lutein changes were related to verbal and composite memory and sustained attention, whereas serum zeaxanthin was linked solely to verbal memory.
Yeah, if you ever see these studies they do with cognitive memory and articulation, it's really amazing that they actually stress people out and keep them awake, so they're only allowed to sleep a period of time that they prefer. And what it does is, by giving these particular nutrient factors from these whole, basically living foods, you actually see they can retain words and speak better. How many of you recognize when you get up early and you haven't slept enough, you're sort of fumbling around, mumbling around, etc.? My wife tells me I mumble every morning. I'm not sure that's true, if she just doesn't want to listen to me anymore.
Yeah, I'll feel dumb in the morning if I haven't gotten enough sleep.
That's
I
right.
just feel like,
Should we get up and eat an entire pumpkin?
I mean, that would be one way to start your morning. I'm not sure if I'd be able to do
Can
it.
you imagine a pumpkin in your belly that big every morning? God.
So foods high in lutein and zeaxanthin include the dark leafy greens, the peas, summer squash, pumpkin, Brussels sprouts, broccoli, asparagus, lettuce, carrots, and actually pistachios, which we like here in
We
Hippocrates too.
love raw pistachios. You know, when I was a kid, pistachios would give you cancer. They had red dye on them, and you had to. They were
Oh my gosh,
fried.
I forgot
and
that. Yeah, they
oh,
did.
God forbid. And your mom, they ask you, did you take pistachio? You say, no, 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 no. And your hands had red dye. It took 3 weeks to come off.
Oh yeah, they're like the Cheetos of the 70s.
Yeah, and they don't even taste good. I mean, these raw pistachios, if you haven't had them, it's amazing. And peas. Here we actually serve the pea pod sometimes, and it's so much fun to watch the guests. They actually open it up and they take one pea at a time. The delicacy of nature, as I say out there. Brussels sprouts, being Irish, we ate a lot of Brussels sprouts. I'll never tell you this story, I'll tell you it now. I was actually in Belfast lecturing, and it was back in 1979, and I was asked the question, how do you sprout a Brussels sprout? And I recognized I was in Dublin, and I was in Galway, and I was in Cork, and this is the fourth place I was in the area of Ireland, and they actually all were confused because they thought I was telling them to go home, get Brussels sprouts, soak them, and sprout them. Doesn't work, I can tell you.
Doesn't work that way. You can't. You have to start from the seed and not the sprout itself.
Yeah, and lettuce, everyone likes lettuce out there. And don't take my mom's head lettuce, which she didn't even like the green. She would throw the green away. It had to be whiter than white.
Oh, disgusting. I mean, I love butter lettuce. That's one of my personal
Oh
favorites.
yeah, well, she's fancy, that's why.
Yeah, no butter, all of the lettuce.
That's right.
And so here is a great little chart that we can look at here for just a moment. And this is showing that taking in these nutrients and at what frequency, the first, second, third, or fourth, how these different areas of the brain improved over time. And so you have immediate recall, delayed recall, picture recall, and you'll see the increase from incorporating these nutrients, and then you have the placebo over there on the right side. There is a significant difference.
Yeah, let's drill down on this. This is really important. Keep that up on the screen for all the viewers, because this is powerfully important information that you're getting now. The one thing that you never want to lose is your mind. I mean, when I look at all of the disorders that I've had the gift and fortune to work with over my entire life, the one that is most frightening is dementia and Alzheimer's disease. You almost want to have anything else. People don't know who they are, where they are, what they've done in the past. And so I can assure you, by cleaning up your diet, eating the Hippocrates type of lifestyle, and specifically focusing on these foods, if you've had a history where you literally have started to slip, and we see today young people in their 20s and 30s are memory slipping already. It doesn't take till 60, 70, 80 years old as it did. Now, under the best conditions, the healthiest people in the world, we're not going to have the same mind and memory at 80 that we will at 20. But my God, it's pretty bad that we're eating so bad, living so bad, drinking sodas and meats and everything else. By 20, we're getting the afflictions that used to take 80-year-olds to get. And look at what this picture recall.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be nice? All of those pretty girls, can you imagine?
Oh, if you can remember them all.
Oh my God.
And
Anna Marie wouldn't like that.
no, she wouldn't. She's happy.
Processing speed.
Yeah, it's just like a computer processor, right? If you have a slow computer processor, you're waiting for that dial-up AOL, old school back in the 90s, it's going to take forever. No, we want high-speed internet brain activity.
And the most important one here to me is visual reasoning. Now, do you realize when you see something, it takes a split second you think, but it could actually go a lot faster if you had your neuron functions working as well as they should be. Sometimes I look at something and it takes a minute to regulate. I actually notice. It may not be a minute, it may be a fraction of a second, but it seems longer than it should. What is that? I've seen that before. That's that kind of thing. Can you imagine if you can improve that?
Yeah, and I think also what this speaks to is the lifestyle component of what we teach here at Hippocrates, because it's showing that between the first instance of having the nutrient and then the fourth, that there's a gradual increase. So I know a lot of people, they want to just, take the pills one time, they just want to eat the foods 1 or 2 times and then go back on their merry way. the science shows that it doesn't work like that. This is a gradual improvement over time.
It's cumulative, and the body becomes familiar with it, and actually not only does it grow and improve over time, but it actually becomes deeper, better, and more significant, because now the cell knows how to receive it, accept it, and utilize it. Most of you have been starving your brain, and that's why many of you have problems. And by the way, we're only talking today about the wonderful parts of the brain that you may improve. This reduces depression. It reduces anxiety. It even helps with things like bipolar and schizophrenia.
Exactly. So do your brain a favor and start incorporating some of these foods into your diet on a regular basis, and the future you will be thanking this you.
You're not kidding. And if you're friends with your brain will be friends with you, and your view and eyesight and vision will become much wider. You'll become a conscious being. Till next time, be conscious, and we'll see you soon.
And this is Last Time from Ingredient IQ.